This week on Zen and Not Zen, BroTime edition.
I almost bought one of those cool little stuffed Loch Ness monsters at the gift shop, but I didn't. Did you?
I just think it's like a big dinosaur that's just been hanging around.
Yeah,
that's totally believable.
But see, that lake's not that fucking big. It's like we could probably figure it out by now.
It's bigger, but it also connects to the ocean. That's the thing.
Oh,
she can get in and out.
Caves and stuff, you know?
That's not where she, that's just her summer home, Loch Ness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So right now she's doing lines in the Denver airport with Sasquatch.
Yeah, exactly. BroTime.
Am I the middle?
I'm probably the bass. BroTime.
Dude, we're just gonna need to. We can't try to record it. We'll just need to maybe try at some point because, we had it on key.
And a 2, 3, 4.
We just don't fucking. When we try to actually record it, we suck.
That's great. All right, well, let's get started then.
Okay. That was bad.
That was great.
I feel like it perfectly summed us up.
I know,
it can't
right?
Be an actual good harmony.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, if we're too good, then it's gonna seem a little suspicious.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna fucking quit you guys. Go.
What
solo.
if I start for a second?
Go solo with my solo.
Yeah, I'll do the high. I could do the high.
Yeah. Okay. Right. BroTime. Okay, that's better.
Robin, you do the bass. That's a fucking great plan.
I get that very
you guys had
there.
me at Robin records the bass vocal. You guys are dicks.
Oh, well, there you go. Welcome back to BroTime. Zen and Not Zen BroTime episode featuring the lovely Kinsey Shaw.
What up?
Yeah. We're back at it, doing it up. It's a midday episode. There's more energy.
This
is
different energy. It's better energy midday.
Yeah.
It's afternoon.
I don't know,
Yeah, the
better
sun's
energy.
still
It's
up.
just different.
It's better energy.
You think better?
Yeah, dude, the fucking day hasn't kicked me in the nuts on the drive over here. I fucking hit every light here. I got here.
Those 4:30 sunsets. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, no shit. It's still bright out, dude.
Yeah.
Hot sunlight.
All right.
Straight up.
I like the evening energy. I'm a night owl.
Oh, so am I. Yeah, dude. I mean, we could just stay up all night playing Sega and shit, but that's not really the point.
I'm awake, but my brain is not. I could stay up till 3 a.m., but I'm not ready to have a conversation with someone.
I try to wind,
10 o'clock.
I mean, I try to wind down my brain usually around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, usually with an edible. Now that I don't drink, it's kind of more of a ritual that way. Sorry, addiction went somewhere.
It's your ZQL.
It's my
ZQL.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, that is a thing.
This is true.
Yeah, I'd say about 9 or 10. I gotta stop thinking. I gotta stop conversating. Just kind of shut down.
I mean, I put so much just mental exhaustion into these podcasts.
Right,
It's
so drained.
I mean, it's why we only do it once a week. It's so tough to just be on all the time.
Right,
And we
5
used to
days
have to
of
do
recovery.
it every day before quarantine. Now I feel like I do it once in a while because I just don't have that many as many interactions with other human beings.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to be out now because everyone has masks, so I feel like I can't understand them. I can't hear them. Mm-hmm. It's stressful for me.
Well, and I think I've realized about myself recently, even more deeply now, is that I hate small talk. I fucking hate it.
Me too.
I hate it. And how you doing? How you been? What's been going on? Oh, the COVID sucks. Oh, pandemic. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's not that I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm just let's cut through that bullshit.
Right.
How's your life? What's going on?
On an energetic level, I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ. What made you cry today? Let's talk about the real shit,
On a pseudo kind of related with that.
Yeah.
A very interesting thing happened to me at work the other day. My best friend from high school came in. Wasn't planned. I hadn't seen the guy in fucking 15 years.
Oh, right on.
Just came in with his family because they were killing time in downtown Seattle and shit. But yeah, haven't seen him in 15 fucking years, and it wasn't it was more what are you doing now? Still same job. Oh, you bought a house. You have 2 kids now. It's I don't have fucking time for any of this other shit.
Yeah.
Granted, we're talking about an extreme here with like my best friend, but ironically enough, we both still had each other's numbers. Both still haven't called. I'm like, we're pretty shitty at being friends.
Well,
pretty shitty at being friends.
Well, maybe this was
we
just
did
like
a podcast about that.
Yeah, maybe it was just a little alarm bell from the universe to be like, hey, you can
it
include this guy.
Gave it a nudge. We'll probably hang out, but it is pretty funny.
I don't, and I go back and forth with that shitty friend kind of idea of people you haven't seen in a while, but I do feel people, people enter into your lives, and you enter into people's lives at specific times for specific reasons. Yeah. Some people are around more often because they have more to contribute to whatever you're doing and whatever they're doing, so there's more of like a symbiotic relationship. Yeah. But for other people, like, it can be transactional outside of when you see each other, and then it's like, hey, what's up? We have things and we have commonalities now. We're going to chit chat for a bit, and then we might go our separate ways for another 5 years. Yeah. But when we meet up again, it's going to be like, hey, what's up again, right?
Yeah, just giving people a break and giving yourself a break. Like, I feel like there's this quota that you have to meet as a friend. You have to do A, B, and C, and you have to do this well, and you have to be involved. And it's just like, maybe I'm just not that kind of a friend. And there are people that will disagree with that. That's fine. And those people aren't my friends, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. And then there are people that understand kind of like how I'm wired and love me, not even regardless of it, but because of it. And
well, it's like proper boundaries.
Yeah.
You got to create proper boundaries.
Yeah.
And boundaries, when you create them in the beginning, especially if you haven't made them before, you seem like an asshole because it's like, well, you just went from everything's okay to now this funnel of not, and but it needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. And the people that do actually not care, but the people that are meant to stick around within your sphere will still be there, and they'll respect those bubbles. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is a great segue to the tangent, which is going to be, if you meet up and do a stop and chat with your friends, and then they start talking about conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Big red flag.
It's their mistake, because I'll never let them go.
Well, I will never talk to that person again. But this is the tangent of the week, was conspiracy theories, right?
And it depends on which one.
Right. Yeah, and that's
exactly. If I haven't seen you in 10 years and you're like, this fucking COVID's created by the media, I'm like, bye!
We might need to, it might fuck up with the ambiance of the room. We might need to actually get a dry erase board, because we could tier these conspiracy theories with levels of nuttiness.
Yeah. I would so much rather...
The level of nuttiness in the squirrel's cheeks.
Yeah. But some of them are real.
They are. Well, and so I think with the base of conspiracy theories is the mistrust that's been created. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it really boils down to, is that it's not the fact that like some of these are so absurd that how could you believe this?
We're looking for answers from something we can't get an answer from.
Right. Yeah. And you feel so guided from whatever thing that you feel it from, whether it's the government, your religion, your sexuality, whatever it is, right? There's a lot of opportunities for us to feel disenchanted, right?
Yeah.
And when you feel that disenchanted, we start to look for things, and the things that might seem absurd to some make complete sense to others because they've lost all trust. And when you lose all trust, anything can happen.
It's all about perspective.
It really is.
How you view how the world operates, and
or whether or not it's fucking
it's also
flat.
like a tip of the hat to human imagination, because the dots these people connect.
I do agree with
that.
There
was 100%. One that I saw.
But we don't need to be encouraging some of these people.
I don't know.
They're going to do it regardless. Like, I'm not encouraging it, but all I'm saying is I have always believed we landed on the moon. Like, that has never been a question to me. And then someone brought up, like, are you telling me that a signal in the 1960s was a live stream from the moon to every single person's television in the country, before internet, before wireless, before all this stuff? And I was like,
I never thought of it like that.
I had never thought of that. And so I was like, that is an excellent point.
Definitely.
And interesting, and a perspective that I would have never have thought about. Mm-hmm. And it made me kind of stop and go,
Yep.
Just a creak in the door, and then I feel like your brain goes, and then what about this? What about this? So I think it's also like our need for imagination as adults. We don't do the imagination thing as kids anymore, so now we just weaponize it.
Yeah, and it just
spins. Oblo for yourself.
Oh, no.
Way.
That's how I live.
Have you seen that video on YouTube of Buzz Aldrin fucking punching out that guy who like talks shit to him about landing on the moon? It's like, get the fuck away. Buzz Aldrin's like, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
I've been on the moon.
Totally.
Shit.
But even with that stuff, it can be so outlandish and so crazy, but there's modicums of super creativity in that stuff, right? And it's like, if we can find ways to harness the ideas and the creativity,
the
and
energy that is there.
Right, yeah, because like you said, the dotted lines. Like I don't buy into a lot of conspiracy theories, but I love listening to them.
Yeah,
just
it's like
because
watching a
of that.
movie. It's,
Yeah,
you tick all these boxes, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And I love feeling surprised, and like, and these, I never saw that coming.
What's
he looked in a hat and he found religion. Oh my god!
It's crazy. My
fuck was that?
favorite
Was that
conspiracy
Mormon?
theory is that
That was John Smith.
Joseph Smith.
I was about to guess that was
Just
John
the whole
Smith,
Mormon
but we know-
religion's my favorite.
We know my history with theology, but it was funny because before I even knew this was going to be the topic, I was literally thinking like, wow. As I will occasionally do, my mind will wander. I know this comes as a tremendous shock.
No.
Ooh. I was literally thinking like 4 or 5 days ago that I need to rewatch that shitty Mel Gibson movie, Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, 97, yeah, totally.
I think I should rewatch that because I watched that like as a Nino. I don't know why the fuck I'm throwing around all this.
Yeah, you got a lot of
Espanol.
Spanglish going on today, huh?
Just back from San Diego.
No,
so
that's
there you
right,
go.
San Diego. Heard
Whale's
Whale's
vagina.
Poor city.
But did you ever see that movie with Mel
Oh yeah, I love
yeah,
that movie.
with Julia Roberts.
You loved that.
Oh, I
movie?
watched it all the time back in the day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
hot
Mel
take
Gibson.
there. I didn't
have
Here's
cable,
the
man.
thing.
Kinsey, can we get? I mean, now,
I ain't got
now
cable, man.
See, this is fucking great that she's here because now I won't seem such an asshole.
Before he was
Depends.
problematic,
Depends.
I had no problem watching Mel Gibson
Same.
movies, like the Lethal Weapon, the Maverick. Like
Same. Oh, I
he
loved
had
Maverick.
Bird on a
Tom
Wire.
Cruise
Yep.
the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like even Signs. Like
I like
still
Signs.
I really
Get
enjoy
the fuck
Signs.
out with that
Signs.
shit.
I love that
love
movie. I loved it.
Yeah, we should
And that's
add
after
her.
he's
We might need to just
problematic.
have her do like a reaction to some of these other podcasts. We've already
so
covered some of
good.
this stuff.
Well, you just don't like
Signs.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Fucking shit.
That
I thought it was a
let me
great
tell you,
movie.
Lady in the Water
Swing away,
is the
Joseph.
most beautiful creative story
great
that
movie.
has ever
It's a good
been
movie.
created.
I'll have to take your word for
I
it.
watched that on the plane.
And it got shit on so hard, but
I'm
it's
sure
such
it
a
will.
wonderful movie.
By
Yeah.
me.
It was.
Even though
I
haven't
really
seen-
enjoyed
always
that
come
movie.
back to M. Night
Dude,
Shyamalan
I told
movies.
you, I think, not to get too fucking weird. No, no, stay on subject. That movie, The fucking Irishman, I was on a fucking
Oh,
long...
yeah.
I did
I watched
not.
that.
I did not.
Fuck me, dude.
Very dialogue-driven movie.
Okay. That's a nice way of saying it.
All right.
That
3 hours.
motherfucker was over 3 and I was on a plane. I felt fucking pissed. I was like, dude, I could have sat in a chair.
That's an assault. It's
Yeah,
an assault on
dude,
your eyeballs and
Fucking
ears.
dude, assault.
Yeah.
Literally, I felt like I was like,
You were
what
trapped.
the fuck, Marty? I've seen enough of your fucking movies.
Did they have no other movies you could turn off and watch those?
No,
You're
but
already
see, I was
committed by the
committed. I was
time,
huh?
committed. I was like an
Oh,
hour
yeah.
and a half, 2
I have
hours
no
into this fucking
loyalty.
shit.
I'm like,
I
I'll
was
turn it
flying to
off.
Hawaii. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking let's go, let's fucking go.
But now the universe is giving you the opportunity to shit on it, and you can say, I sat through all 3.5, 4 hours
Dude,
of it.
fuck that movie.
I
Fuck
have a leg to
that
stand
movie. Fuck all that shit. And I got even
hate
more
Oscar
mad when
bait
everyone's like,
movies.
oh, The Irishman was like, no, dude, no.
It wasn't it. Wasn't it for me.
I watched it, but I don't really remember it because it was
he's
super
pumping
long.
the brakes now.
No,
Keep
I
that
watched
shit-
it. I
Keep
watched
that
it.
shit up. I'll make you watch Titanic.
Oh, fuck that shit. Oh, there's actually a conspiracy in here that the Titanic isn't actually.
Yeah,
the
You
ship
know,
they
I
say.
saw
What the
that, but
fuck is that?
I didn't
Yeah, I know.
understand
There's
it.
some in there that
Was
I've
it something about solar flares or something? That there
So,
was
like,
a solar
okay, so,
flare?
yeah, so,
And it was
so
a different ship that
in our
actually saw
limited,
it. I'm gonna look it up.
as you may or may not know, we don't do a lot of show prep, but Adam found this link with a bunch of conspiracy theories on it, and like most of which I had heard of, but one of which that I didn't read was that the Titanic didn't sink. Like, what the fuck would be the point of making that up?
Right.
It was
Yeah.
another. They're saying that it wasn't the Titanic. It was another ocean liner called the Olympic that crashed in the iceberg, not the Titanic.
Okay.
And that's all it says. So, like, what's the conspiracy?
Yeah, what's a conspiracy? Why would they say it's one, not the other? So the article we're referencing is from Popular Mechanics. It's called the craziest
publication.
conspiracy
That is a
theories that
fine,
people
fine
actually believe.
Publication. Popular Mechanics.
Yeah, I love Popular Mechanics. Yeah,
Bill
totally.
Gates
Yeah.
makes fake snow. That's funny.
I know, right? Yeah. So so we're gonna go through a couple of these and just comment as we go, right?
All right, cool.
So we the first one we talked about kind of already with Buzz Aldrin was the moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
You know, and I can, again, like I can see when
Well.
people talk to me about it.
Haven't been back. That's
I
one
can,
of
I
another
can, I can
arguments.
see some, I can see some
There's
dotted
no
lines
oil
drawn
in
from the arguments, but
There's no oil in it.
and
There's
a
also
lot
not
of
a
these
Cold
things
War.
too.
There's not a dick measuring thing with
Right.
Russia right
Yeah.
now.
There's no one there to beat up.
Well, with a lot of these conspiracy theories too, it's not that I don't believe them, but it's a lot of times I haven't really even put the thought into them.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
it's like-
that was the other thing I
Yeah.
was thinking. Like, what do the flat earthers gain?
Yeah,
like,
like
what
my-
is your end game? And like, okay, so
Like,
in your perfect world, the world is flat. okay, then what? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
what
does
do you
that, what does that
care?
prove? Yeah.
Another valid thing.
Why get so worked up about it? Like, if that's what
Definitely.
you think, okay, great. But like, there are some conspiracies that obviously would benefit somebody, but there
Yeah.
are some that I'm just like, why do you care?
It's just like, yeah, when you're like, I didn't know this shit. It's like, yeah, my brain has only got so much space for like discontinued snacks I love for the 90s. I can't just fucking like.
I don't want to replace
I
that.
can't just bump shark bites out of there for fucking stupid ass fucking conspiracy
The blue and
theories.
white ones.
Yeah, the tiger
Oh
shark.
my
I was talking to
God.
somebody
Tiger
yesterday. I'm like,
shark.
you get the tiger
Yes.
shark. That's like if you get the good pack and it had like
You-
3 or
the
4
one-
tiger shark.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
oh.
Way to go.
Yeah.
What a throwback.
Okay.
So are we consensus? Do we believe the moon landing?
I
we don't
believe
have
it.
to do this
Oh,
for
so
everyone.
that's-
We don't.
should
Well,
we
we
do
don't
We
that?
have to
should
do
vote.
that.
That's what we
Should
should
we
do. We should
vote?
go each
Alright,
one
alright.
and just say, are you with it or not?
I haven't gone too much into the anti-moon landing stuff, but
Okay.
I am of the ilk that we did go to the moon.
Yeah.
Same.
Same.
Yeah,
Alright,
I do believe that.
Wow, this is
I
gonna
love
be-
space.
This is gonna be a fucking
That's be
hot
interesting.
take podcast.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so controversial.
go.
And so there's 30 in here. We won't go through all
So
of
we're
them,
gonna
but
go
we'll
through.
go through.
We're gonna go through all 30.
I
popular
will
ones.
say
3 times.
the next one is the government killed JFK.
Yes.
I actually believe that they killed him and Marilyn because of aliens, because they knew, and that JFK told Marilyn that there were aliens, and that he was going to go public
All right.
about aliens, and so that's how I think he died.
So where did you hear? Because
Holy fuck,
I
there's
do
a
believe
lot there, dude.
I do believe also that
Yeah.
the government had something to do with both of those deaths.
Yeah.
But
Just
I've
lots
never
of
put
alien-
the alien side to it. That's
there
interesting.
there have been, most recently, American Horror Story, their second part of this season was about that.
Oh, interesting.
Not about that, but like it touched on it.
Had story overtones on
It was
it.
great. Maybe goddamn Eisenhower. But a lot of like ancient alien documentaries, or like the
Love
guys that do
ancient
ancient aliens. I'll watch all of those 1-star.
What's that guy Giorgio?
That guy's a man.
All those guys.
Love that guy.
And so it was something that I had come across probably a year or two ago and hadn't really thought about it. And then more and more, like when this, CIA unearthed documents about how we live in a holographic universe, I think it was around that time that people were like
All right.
saying that might have been a possibility.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I every account that's come out about the explanation for JFK's.
Did you see the
death
movie
is-
JFK, the Oliver Stone movie?
I
The
actually
Oliver Stone I
haven't.
have, yeah, that was good.
haven't seen it?
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't.
they just
Oliver
actually.
Stone has kind of got a reputation. I will say the caveat with Oliver Stone and his quote artistic license he takes with history. By most accounts, and he did go to Nam. Platoon is a fucking. I love that movie, but
Yeah.
a lot of Vietnam vets, and that's a
Was an accurate depiction.
that was a good depiction by
Yeah.
by most accounts.
Right. There's a new documentary on JFK that just came out on Netflix, I believe. I didn't have a chance to watch it yet,
Yeah.
but it talks a lot
Back
about
and
the
to the left.
I think there was like one that I watched that was called like Shooter on the Hill or something
Okay.
like that, and that's when they brought up the alien thing.
Okay.
And I
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
there's a lot of declassified documents coming out now from
Yeah.
like redacted stuff, and it seems like the government's kind of like in this like. Well, it seems like they're covering something else up by releasing all this other information, like the alien stuff. Now there's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like, oh yeah, hey, guess what? There's alien sightings, and we
Fucking
are okay
right,
with that.
and then it just kind of
wait,
petered
this whole
out.
time?
Yeah, you guys, you
Right.
should have done this podcast years ago. I could have known I wouldn't have been fucking sharing a room with you yahoos.
You're welcome. No, I think aliens for sure. Aliens for sure are somewhere.
yeah. most
Do you think they're
definitely.
here already?
I have a
Like the
strong-
whole lizard
yeah,
people thing?
I think that there's a.
I think they're in the ocean. That's where I think they are.
In
I
the
think
ocean?
they're just all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Or in the hollow earth.
Oh yeah, that's the one too. That's one too.
I didn't even
Yeah,
fucking
I
know
think they
about
are. I
that.
think they are,
Hollow Earth?
Yeah, that was a new
What
one
the
for
fuck
me.
is the point of that conspiracy?
Let's see. Let's find
That there's
one.
like that's where like the headquarters for
Oh, there's another good one,
Like
too.
Bill
everything.
Gates, the Illuminati, and
Right,
shit
yeah,
hanging out.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Or
these-
aliens.
Or aliens.
But we don't have any machines that can go deep enough. Everything that we have is like through just scientific theory and like based on all the evidence that
yeah,
we have.
No, I understand that.
But
you know.
we have never gone all the way down, so we don't know
didn't
for
didn't
sure.
stop me from trying to dig to China.
So it doesn't say what the
Did you
conspiracy
fucking try
is.
doing that?
Oh yeah,
When I was
totally.
a
When I was a
kid, for
kid.
sure.
It doesn't say what the conspiracy actually
Ain't
is,
fucking close at all.
but they say there's a sub-conspiracy within this one that says that some believers even think there's an Earth inside of the Earth.
Yeah.
What is that like, dude? That's like on the end of Biodome when they're talking about making a dome with inside of a dome.
Or like a Horton Hears a Who, where like every little we're just we're on a snowflake somewhere.
There you go. There you go. I love it. So yeah, the Hollow Earth one, that was a weird one. I'd never heard of that one before. But this one, the Earth has been sucked into a black hole.
I think that's what happened. Yeah, where the Earth ended in 2012.
Yeah, the Earth, and we just haven't realized it.
We're all done. We're all done right now.
Yeah, we're just residual
that
kind of energy
timeline.
Yeah.
Like that, whatever alternate dimension we were on ended in 2020 or 2012, which is why, like, since 2012, everything has seemingly just progressively got worse.
Okay. So.
Well, actually, no.
Like, I mean, just they're like say like I mean,
like,
maybe
where's
I'm
there
not
to gain?
Like so maybe I just don't understand. It's like so like do we have 50 years, 100 years? It's just gonna be all of us at the same time.
Well, there's a theory in spirituality that talks about death and dreams, and it says so. A lot of people have very vivid dreams, and they're able to talk to their ones that have passed away in their dreams and things like that. So that dream state, especially if you can lucid dream, you can do a lot of interesting stuff there. So there's theories,
astral plane.
Right. So there's theories that the dream state is our actual past reality. So as we pass away, that's the reality that we go to, is the dream state that everybody has access to.
Right.
But only people that have passed on and they're energetically now, moving at a different level, they're living in that realm.
That's why I think the holographic universe thing actually has some meat to it because of shit like that. Like, I don't think there's like a game where like one big grandpa in the sky is like playing a video game and we're like NPCs or anything like that. But I think we like our physical world is like just a projection of like consciousness.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't think we truly have wrapped what conscious is like in human thought.
I agree.
I don't think we can wrap our brains around it.
Truly. No, we're not there yet. We don't have the vocabulary for it. But the other side of this is that when you pass away, you enter this permanent dream state, but you enter it in the realm that you're currently in. So you're in the same house, you have the same rituals, you have the same friend groups, because your mentality is projecting this. And only over time do you realize that you're actually passing, that you're done, that you now have freedom of your consciousness and you can go and do whatever you want, see and feel whoever you want. Exactly. And then that's when... So it takes time, right? Just like we were talking earlier. We don't, you're running,
like
you don't just stop running,
I want it
you
to
continue.
Be done when I die.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be...
Well, it's like, you're
so
still on that
path. More lessons.
I was
talking
to my Uber driver about that. I'm like, man, fuck it. Why can't we just, like, decay in the ground? Yeah, I get deep with my Uber drivers.
Hey, somebody's got you, man.
You're his favorite ride.
I got in the car, and I, like, noticed he had a sub, and I'm like, hey, bro, didn't harsh your sub when I put my luggage in the car, man. And I just, like, started, and then, like, literally 5 minutes later, we're talking about religion and death. I'm like, hey, man, I bet you didn't think we'd get this fucking deep on this 20-minute drive home.
I've had one Uber ride like that where a guy had broken away from like the New Age Christianity, like the modern Christians, the kind of culty ones.
Like
you know what I'm talking about? The Joel Osteen type.
Yeah, evangelical.
Plumber found it. There was a plumber doing some work on one of his fucking mega churches, and he found like a huge cash hoard in like a wall.
Oh damn!
And the reason why this is notable is
it's probably in the crucifix. What are you talking about?
He was a victim of theft like 5 or 6 years ago, in which he made a big insurance claim on this theft, and it's like, oh, you sure this shit wasn't just hiding in the wall?
Wow, interesting.
And Jesus wants us to build a Ferris wheel. That's Sam Kinison.
Oh my god. What were you saying?
I can't remember.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good. We were talking about Earth, holographic universe.
2012.
Oh yeah.
Sucked into a black hole.
We're all gonna die.
I don't know. I was just saying that like
the
I feel like
moved
when
away from the Uber church of your Uber driver.
Yeah.
Church.
That was like the most deep conversation I ever had, and he
like Heaven's Gate shit.
And now he leads like an organization to like help other people get out or whatever. And we were like, I was like talking about my religious trauma and his. He was talking, and it was like from the airport to my house, which was only like 15, 20 minutes. But I was like, this was just the most
fuck, should we
hug?
Ride.
Should we fucking hug? It was crazy.
Yeah, sometimes
Never
you
in
need
my
those
life.
random
Still gave him
conversations.
3 stars, but I mean.
Okay. This conspiracy I'm actually most excited to talk about because it's one that Mandy just told me about today.
I never heard this one.
Never have I heard this one before.
Okay, which one is it?
So it's Disney created Frozen as a distraction. So you know how everyone says, not everyone.
Walt Disney's Frozen. I've heard
Yeah,
that. I've
so
heard
his head's
that.
frozen. So people started to catch on to that. So they created Frozen as a movie. So when people search Disney Frozen, the movie would pop up rather than like evidence that he had a frozen head and maybe they were bringing him back to life or something like that.
Oh, see, that all makes logical sense.
Right? It makes
Like-
I can see he was rich enough to be like, yep, that'll happen sooner or later.
Yeah, okay, so to distract consumers from information about the Walt Disney's
Because
possible
you're supposed to get
frozen
thawed
procedure.
out like right now, right? Wasn't that the thing? Like you're supposed to have like
Wouldn't that be just the fucking cake, like
he's
cherry
Walt
on the
Disney's
top?
like alive now,
like,
just
Oh,
like
fucking-
oh fuck man.
oh my god, I thought Omicron was the only thing we needed to worry about.
No
Jesus.
joke, man. Good lord.
I
mean,
literally had never heard that before.
Walt
and it made
Disney
me
was
smile.
like a very, very strong anti-Semite, right?
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
like, he would be very
I think he was a
upset
good
with the
dude.
way World War II ended and
Yeah.
shit. He'd be like, what the
Put
fuck?
me back, refreeze me.
Oh
I don't
my
want to be
God.
out here.
God.
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Actually, we better. How old is he? I got my chronology. He knows that
even
World War
know.
II ended, didn't he?
I don't know, actually.
When
I don't
did they
think so.
quote
Let's
freeze
see.
him, or when did he die?
When did Walt Disney? Oh, I don't
Huh.
want this on my search history.
I know, right? Yeah.
Did we freeze?
I would say he probably did. I would say he
Disney?
died in the
I mean,
late
it was like-
40s, early
yeah,
50s.
Yeah, like I mean, Disneyland.
It wasn't like he died in the 30s.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. The joke would be funnier if he died in the 30s.
Time has no meaning anymore. It's
Yeah,
like, what
right.
is-
Fucking Walt Disney. Yeah,
His death was in 1966.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, in Robin's
So
narrative,
55 years after
they
his
thaw
death.
him out, and he's just like, "So, did those boys in Germany get the job done?"
Jesus Christ.
55 years after his death, Walt
Fuck.
Disney's frozen body would be thawed December 2021 in an attempt to bring him back to life.
All right.
I mean, this would be a terrible year to bring back such a fragile physical frame. Like, he hasn't been experienced to any germs since 1966, and we unthaw him in the peak of Omicron? Do it. Do it, Disney.
So
Kill
challenge
that
accepted.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Challenge
So,
accepted.
so you're just looking at it from a very pragmatic, like, you know.
Maybe we
what a
wait.
fragile
Maybe we
immune
just wait.
system, yeah.
Oh,
What's
fucking
he
hell.
won't know. We'll just tell him 2023
You know,
is
they
the
didn't
same.
freeze Freddie Mercury, but you're not on the let's thaw him out and give his immune system a shot right now.
No.
Too soon. Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Keep him frozen for a better time.
Oh, my God. This next one I read a long time ago, but I haven't heard this in a while. This one kind of was funny. The Denver International Airport is the Illuminati's headquarters.
I've never fucking heard of that.
You've never heard of anything about the Denver airport?
No, see,
Yeah.
I've heard about the Minneapolis airport's a good place to get jerked off.
Oh, yeah, you put the foot under the
Yeah,
thing and
you
you
get a
tap,
wide
tap, tap.
Oh, yeah.
I got a wide
I got a wide stance.
stance. I got a wide stance. Got a wide stance. That fucking... What a brave, poor woman, that wife who had to just stand there next to him as he did a news conference, and they're like, I like to get jerked off. My senator husband likes to get, Senator Larry Craig, I believe was his name. I'd like to get jerked off in a fucking... Okay, anyway. I have not heard of that. I have not heard of that, and I've been to Denver's airport.
There are tons of conspiracies
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like, it is a portal, it has access to
Why?
alternate
'Cause
dimensions.
It's a mile above the earth?
Yeah, and it also has, I feel like there's, like, the placement of it.
There's
It's,
sea
like,
level.
on ley lines.
Yeah,
so, like,
right, yeah.
there's, like,
What's a ley line?
it's like when two
Energetic
energetic
lines.
lines, like, overcross. Have
Ah,
you ever seen
see?
Ghostbusters,
It's
the new one?
fucking Zen and not Zen now, bitches. With the fucking
Zen
YouTube.
No, it's
squared.
just
You
Zen
guys
and...
can't see what I saw, but the both of you looked at me like I was fucking speaking another language. Like, oh, you don't fucking know that? Two energies in
Ley
your
lines.
set.
It's
Come
a
on,
ley
man.
Fucking
lines.
dicks.
I love supernatural shit. So it's like basically like you have when more than one ley line overlaps, there's like more supernatural activity that tends to happen, or it opens certain dimensions that wouldn't otherwise be accessible because of the energy that's been converged. But there's also like the cave system has something to do with it. The Illuminati. People think
Because
there's aliens. People
probably
think there's.
tunnels, and I think there's probably
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's probably an old military.
Let me see if there's, like, a
bases and
BuzzFeed.
military base in
Yeah.
Denver as well. You
Yep.
know, which would
Yep.
make sense.
When's
Shit, we live in
the...
the Puget Sound. There's nukes like fucking an hour away from
Oh,
us
yeah, they're right
now.
there. Yeah, totally.
And mankind.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
You
don't
know?
know why the Denver airport, but let me
So
see it.
it's if I remember correctly, I was hungover as shit when I was flying out of the Yeah, that's another. Yeah, I add credibility to the story instantly when I add that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, flew back with the entire Seattle Sounders soccer team, and I was too hungover to give a fuck.
Oh damn.
It was $2 billion over budget to build that place, and that's I think what people were like. The airport was 4.8 billion.
So there's like a space laser fucking.
Right. So they're like, it can't just be the airport.
With tracks in the center and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's where fucking Christopher Reeve's parents, Kal-El and Superman, fucking.
The ice caves.
Oh, it's got like a Grand Mason. Okay.
What do you remember? Do you remember what age y'all were when you first like heard about the Illuminati, or kind of like?
Oh shit!
That seems like the entry level.
Probably Nicolas Cage and National Treasure.
I never actually saw.
All right,
I never actually
like
saw any
Society.
of those. I think I should probably give the first National Treasure a shot.
It's a canon classic. You got to do it. It's ridiculous, but it holds up if you can kind of watch it for what it is.
I don't want to sit there and defend Nick Cage because I won't, but I dug Matchstick Men. I thought Matchstick Men was good.
Matchstick Men was a good movie, yeah.
You know, granted, I pick all the fucking serious ones, leaving Las Vegas.
Sad ones.
Well, that was a sad one, yeah.
I still, and I rewatched. Man, I can hear you.
Oh, you know who else is in National Treasure? John Voight's car. John Voight's in it.
Oh, dude.
Driving around in John Voight's car.
I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, the car? The 88 LeBaron or whatever the stands about?
Yeah, with his signature on the piece of paper.
Voight, what a
his
dick.
pencil. With his teeth imprints.
Fucking hey, is that John Voight's pencil?
I remember one of the very first books I ever got was a
screenplay
book
for
called
National Treasure?
No, not a Nick Cage fan. But there's some classics I'll get down with. But no, it was Behold a Pale Horse. And this was like a classic conspiracy theory book from, I think it was written in like the 70s. But this guy named William Cooper wrote it. He was high up in the military, and he got out. And the book's about, like, it's all these bunch of different conspiracy theories. Or, like, talks about the world banking system, the Illuminati, aliens, all this kind of shit. But it was. I still have the book. But I felt like I was being watched every time I read this book. And when the person that told me about it, this is like right when the internet was like getting popular, like early 2000s.
Did you have 7 days after you read the book?
Well, no. So he told me, he was like, do not buy this on the internet. Don't buy it with a credit card. Behold a Pale Horse. Okay. He's like, because you will get put on a list. It's one of those books that like people talked about, like you'll get put on a list,
books.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking hell. So every time I read it, like, and I'm a stoner, right? So I'm already a little paranoid, right? And I'm like looking out the blinds and shit.
Dude, you type behold, and it like literally like you type beh, and it like instantly comes up on Amazon.
Oh well, it heard me talking about it too.
See? They're all listening.
AI is listening.
It's a pretty cool cover. Actually,
it's a very interesting book because it has the stories, and then in the appendix it has the declassified documents it's referencing. It's really interesting.
I'm all over that.
Yeah, it's
I love
crazy.
Shit like that.
Yeah, there's a so we talked about Ancient Aliens earlier, but there's a guy that was on there at like sporadically. He's not a regular guest, but his name's Graham Hancock.
Dude, you read a 470-page book, bro?
Dude, I read 1,000-page books, man.
I know, you got on defensive. That's a lot
well,
of
to
pages
be fair,
for
most
me.
of that's reference.
That's a lot of pages
a lot of that
for
is
me.
reference.
I look at that shit, I'm like, man, I better be into that. I better be fucking into that. The book better be called Shit Robin Really Likes. Like 470.
No, but there's a book called
fucking 220 pictures.
Fingerprints of the Gods that talks a lot about, Illuminati stuff like that. But also,
isn't Tupac supposed to be still alive in this narrative?
I think. Well, I mean, okay, so let's put this out there, right? So the most accepted theory in physics, quantum physics right now, is string theory, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that we have multiple universes that are just a fraction of a nanosecond apart from each other, and they're all attached by different strings, right?
Right.
That is the most acceptable theory in quantum physics. Like, that passes all the things that anything has to prove to be a provable theory, which is fucking bonkers, right? And so if that's the case, the theory that on top of that is that in every one of those universes, you are living a life that's just a little bit different. So instead of saying yes to something, you said no to something, and that caused a different part of a timeline. But in that other timeline, you said yes to that same thing, but said no to something else. Right? And so you have these splinters of all these different timelines. So in that theory, which again is the most acceptable theory in quantum physics, yes, Tupac is still alive. Yes, Elvis Presley is still alive. Right. Yes, my father is still alive. Right. I'm probably dead. Right. There's all these different theories because there's billions of different universes that are layered on top of each other. And that's, one of the explanations they have for deja vu is we accidentally step into those fractal universes that are just a nanosecond away from us. We experience it, come back into ours, and then we experience it in our real time.
That makes a whole lot of sense. And also,
talk about conspiracy theories.
Right. Well,
but
like energy
one.
can't be created or destroyed.
Exactly.
So you just kind of like are constantly switching timelines, which is what, okay, wow.
Yeah.
That makes everything feel a little bit like just do it, whatever you want.
Right. Yeah. It's fucking sexy party time, man.
Yeah.
Just do you.
I'm into it.
Okay, next theory, one of my favorite ones that I know is going to be a really,
one.
really trigger Robin, is the world is flat. The world is flat. We've actually talked about that on the podcast
talked about
before.
This one before too, but it's like some of this shit, like that one's fucking easy. Like,
there's like
you could watch a fucking bridge go across a lake and you will see it fucking curve.
Right.
Like, you can actually see it fucking curve. It's not straight.
Yep. Well, and if you take
a
video above the horizon, you can see, like, in a panoramic view, like, it curves.
Like fuck, I don't even know. Outside of the fact that we've actually zoomed out far enough.
What do we have to gain? What is the gain? What is the end goal? Like, I just don't get why they get so angry about it.
Fuck, right. I don't even know if I mentioned this on the previous one when we mentioned the flat earther, but did you hear about that guy who put himself in that rocket ship that, like, he was a flat earther and his rocket failed?
Yeah.
He just jumped timelines. It's all right. He just jumped straight.
Yeah. He made it the other timeline.
He made it timeline, yeah.
He took his timeline that he was currently on, he made it a lot shorter. Fucking A.
Well,
he's like, I've done this before.
I think if anything, what they're trying to prove is the distrust in the government. And so it's probably a lot of the folks that don't believe in the moon landing and shit like that,
Just proving that
we're just
we
being
can't
lied
trust.
to. Right, yeah.
Fucking Earth being
But it's become
flat.
like a fucking movement, man.
Yeah.
And like how they're proving or trying to prove their theory about how like the whole world is surrounded by the flat Earth.
Just keep walking and you'll drop off at some point.
Well, no, because there's glaciers that surround it, right?
That's
and
right.
then there's an ocean
the
between
creativity.
that, and then there's more glaciers. So there's like the world is flat in the center,
Man, that's like
surrounded.
Then
there's
6,000 years old shit, and then
Oh
God put dinosaur bones to test our faith.
My favorite conspiracy theory is God, or that Jesus is white. Both of those are bangers.
Yeah,
the human race was created by two white people.
Wait, you're telling me I don't look like Jesus?
You might look a little bit like Jesus.
No, I look like stereotypical white Jesus.
Right, Leonardo da Vinci's boyfriend's Jesus.
There you go.
That was the the
Tadao,
image.
Is that the fucking original?
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't know Leo
it was
got
of his
down like
lover.
That. Well, good for him, but like, really?
I don't think I knew that either. That's great.
Yeah, it was his his gay lover.
From what I understand, Vinci, just about everybody just got down with getting down back in those days.
Well, that's before religion got ruined.
Exactly.
Is that what it is? I mean, fuck.
And I feel like the free thinkers are also like, if you're a free thinker and you're like 1,000 light years.
I'm gonna just try fucking a sheep and just see how it goes. That's probably what some guy was, back in 1305.
Right.
Hey,
you never know till you try.
Dude, he laid
Luckily,
the groundwork
enough people have tried.
He laid the groundwork for what I think is gross.
Yes, exactly.
But that's
we choose to not fuck the goat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Your choice. Your sheep, your choice. Never fuck a sheep.
Never fuck a sheep. So this next one I'm just going to breeze over because it's just funny to say. I've never thought about this.
Yeah, never heard about this one.
Prince Charles is a vampire. That's just funny because, all right.
I mean, I think he's an emotional vampire. Does that count?
Right. But the next one I love, and I've actually chased this one down a little bit myself in my younger years, but
I'm a believer.
Bigfoot is real.
Yeah, for sure. I
mean,
so.
I'm
definitely a believer in that.
It's kind of cool being in the Pacific Northwest because that's the lore. It's either here or the Yeti, the Himalayas, depending on which,
I
mean,
Harry and the Hendersons was filmed up here, or based on up here.
Interesting side note, same guy who played Harry and the Hendersons is the same actor who played the Predator. That's Kevin Peter Hall.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Van Damme was supposed to be the original Predator, but he wasn't tall enough.
They're going to put Van Damme in a costume? Well. Was he going to jump around and do like karate shit?
Probably.
Interesting. Weird.
He probably wasn't stoked about his face being covered.
Yeah, right?
He's like, if I'm Van Damme, you don't want me to kick his ass?
This is before Bloodsport.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. No, I had a buddy growing up that was really big into Bigfoot stuff, and so he would always pull articles on microfish, right? Back in the day, microfish,
like fucking pelican brief.
Totally.
The library.
And he found articles that people were talking about actually. So by where I grew up in Texas, it was new populations, new developments were going in, and they're putting in big roads and big freeways and shit, and through wooded areas. And this is down south. This is in Houston.
Yeah.
And there was no, and nor Bigfoot sightings really.
Yeah.
And there was a story about a construction group that left, for the evening, left their, they had their bulldozers and shit like that out there.
If I was a Bigfoot, I would fuck with so many people.
So yeah, they got back.
Do that.
They got back the next morning, and there was three of the vehicles, the big machineries, were bashed in. Like completely destroyed, and there was this giant boulder sitting next to them that wasn't there before.
Oh,
and
I believe it.
What the fuck is that?
There was a video of two hikers that were like really, really deep in the mountains, and they were on a peak, and they saw like what looked like it was a human figure, but it was way too tall, and like how far away they were.
Grainy ass shit we saw.
Yes, but it was more valid because it was covering so much ground so quickly that it couldn't have been a human, but it was upright like a human. I just think there's too much land out there that we don't populate.
And
they're smarter than we are.
Unsolved mysteries and shit where they like had a cast of some fucking big footprint and whatnot.
Oh no, totally. I'm sure people fuck with people, totally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we get knocked on people for the grainy footage. We didn't have anything to do better back then. The fact that we have footage, I think, is good.
All we had is a razor phone at one point.
Jesus Christ, the fucking razor phone. I love that thing. But yeah, I'm totally a believer in Bigfoot. I think that like whoever said it, we haven't explored enough of this world.
And they're smart enough not to get surprised. They've been around here longer. They know the land. Totally. They are athletic. They can jump. I feel like they're just they're maybe a different timeline us that has evolved, and they're just like, we're gonna watch from the woods. You guys all get going.
Like step in a portal and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm all about that Bigfoot life.
Yeah, I love Bigfoot.
I always appreciated those messing with Sasquatch commercials.
Those were good.
Exactly. Yeah, the jerky ones.
That's good. Fucking with him and stuff.
For nothing else, I'm thankful for Bigfoot for those commercials.
Yeah, definitely. How about we're all living in a matrix?
I think
that shit.
I think it's not like computer mechanic based like the movies, but I think that we are like, I think it goes back to the holographic universe that there's like a pure energy positive part of us, and then there's that physical where we're living right now, but like it's the same connection between those two beings.
The problem I have with that one is
I just don't think computers.
Whoever came up with that bullshit literally ran out of shit until 1998, and then had some fucking new conspiracy theory.
Oh no, there's people that have been talking about us living in false realities for a long time, like Bukowski and Chomsky and stuff like that. Dude, those dudes back in the 70s.
They all wear black trench coats and shit and go to Applebee's.
No. We're valid people, Robin.
Yeah, right. And it again, like this is one that comes back to mistrust.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much mistrust with the world, with what we consider is right. Most things that we consider okay in the world are really fucked up, and most things that we consider fucked up are really okay. Mm-hmm. It's like it's so backwards. It doesn't really make any sense anymore. So you have this this disenfranchised, disenchanted kind of mentality that maybe their way of thinking isn't the real way of thinking because they're in an augmented reality. Right?
It's funny because the new Matrix movie's coming out like tomorrow.
I just rewatched the trilogy, and I don't remember the last two movies, and I rewatched them, and it holds up. It blew my mind. It was so good.
I need to rewatch all three.
You really should.
I
was glad that I did.
I was talking to a friend about this last night. I dug the first one.
Yeah.
The second one I thought was too action laden, and I didn't enjoy the third one because I thought the first one did a good job.
The third one hits different.
Hits different.
It hits different now.
Slaps.
It
like
does.
A Travis
it's
Scott
more of a
concert.
story.
It's less action, and when I remember when it came out, I was like, oh, this is the boring one. They're not in the Matrix as nearly as often. But then watching it now as an adult who's gone through life, I'm like, it's so beautiful, and it's like based on love, which is not something that you normally would equate that with, like the Matrix trilogy, but like love of yourself, of your mankind, of each other, and peace is the only way out, and that's how he achieves it, and it's just like, It's so many levels. Shout out to the Wachowski sisters for sure.
So good, so good. Yeah, I rewatched that trilogy the day after I took a really big mushroom journey.
Oh, that's a choice.
And you know, like
That
my
is a
days
choice.
after, I have to really be kind to myself because
Yeah.
I went on a big place, you know, and so I usually have some kind of like just chill day, movies lined up. Monica's usually out of town, you know.
Matrix is your chill movie?
So I watched the trilogy,
Wow.
and man, I was in a good place for
Wow.
that. And the storyline is so well done.
And
like, it's just a good
the
story.
layers of like what's said, what's not said, the whole Oracle interactions, like there's just so many beautiful moments.
Yeah.
Like it's not just an action movie that's like about computers, which I think when I watched it initially it was for me. But
Yeah,
I'm
my
in-
brain
So
wasn't
good.
ready to understand it back
I'm
then.
I'm in that camp.
yeah, but I was
Hi.
too.
Hi there.
We'll turn you.
I'm action movie computer guy.
Also, I like just couldn't
Like
love
the
Keanu Reeves
soundtrack
more
had
now.
Rage Against the Machine.
Oh,
Shout out.
Which every movie
was a
ends
great
with a
movie.
Rage Against the Machine
Fuck
song.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, that was a great soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah, there was Godzilla because Rage was on Godzilla soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, No Shelter Here. That was a
Very
good song.
good. Very good. Yes, very good. Say it with me.
Ah.
Bodegas. Yes, very good.
All right. So next one is that the moon isn't real. It's a projection.
See, like, what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, I read that. Like, what the fucking
Yeah.
shit?
I'm
fuck?
such a space junkie that I just I roll my eyes at those ones.
See,
Just
that
'cause I
one, if
love
we're gonna
space
talk
so much. So if that is taken away from me, then
Yeah.
what else do I have?
I mean, and one thing, you know, especially if we get into the whole aliens and all that, is one thing I can wrap my head around is it's so vast that it'd be insanely stupid to think that we're the only ones out there.
Well, now with
So
these new
with that-
telescopes, like
So with that, it's like the idea of like, yeah, there's probably some shit floating out there, a la like a moon. Like, what the fuck would be the point?
like we're not on the Truman Show. Like we're not gonna like
Still haven't seen that one either.
Robin.
I know.
That was a good one. That's a good
Watch
one.
that
It's a
one
Jim
too.
Carrey.
Yeah, I
That's a
love
little
Jim
Matrix-y.
Carrey. Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Jim
yeah.
Carrey was in his
Carrey.
own
Oh,
Matrix.
Jim Carrey.
Oh, my leg fell asleep.
Yeah, he is that totally. Yeah.
Oh, my leg
That
fell
one hits
asleep.
different now too, for sure.
I love that one. That's a good movie. But I can not understand, but I can see how some people can get kind of hung up with the moon because it doesn't orbit. Like it's
Right.
landlocked with us, so
Right.
we are always seeing that same side of it. You
Right.
know? So it's like
Dark
what the
side of the
fuck's
moon
going
theories
on?
are also extremely
Oh,
fun
that's
to
good.
dig into.
Yeah.
Like how there's a moon base and like that's where the aliens are on the dark side because they can keep an eye on us.
One of my favorite artists is called That One Guy, and he did a concept album called "The Moon Is Disgusting. It's Made of Cheese."
Or Harry Carey. If the moon was made of spare ribs, would you eat it?
Yeah, fucking
Harry Carey.
I like spare ribs.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, space is real, moon is real.
moon is real. Yeah,
Like-
totally.
Titanic. Yeah, we don't need.
Also,
to do that.
Christmas
we're-
Eve, there's a brand new telescope that's going to show us farther than we've ever been able to see, like the light from the beginning of the universe.
Oh,
And it's the Webb telescope, and let me make sure that's right. But I'm pretty sure it's the
I
Webb
actually,
telescope.
yeah, I
Getting
read an
a-
article about
But
that.
we're going to be able to
Astronomy
see
boner?
parts of space and light from space that we have never seen before, and it's going to have the James Webb telescope.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I love all that shit.
Well, they just found out, there's the rover that's on Mars right now. It's been there for 10 months or
Yeah.
something. And they just realized that it's the surface that it's been rolling over is old volcano,
Yeah.
like volcanic lake. So they're finding some cool shit out about that.
Also, like people that deny space, you're denying yourself so much imagination and wonder. Like just like finding and it's pretty to look at. Like you're just denying yourself joy
Yeah.
by saying it's not real.
Right, you
It's
know?
so much fun to like think about. Also, there was an image that I saw because we all think that our solar system is stationary. So there's the sun in the middle, and then we just all orbit around it. But really, it's traveling through space and time at the same
Yeah,
time.
the solar system is orbiting as
And
well.
I like for some reason didn't even think about it like that because I know, oh yeah, we're constantly moving and we're gonna get to this black hole at some point. But like seeing the image of what our universe actually looks like because it's
Yeah.
traveling blew my mind.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
Oh,
Yeah, because you have
it's just the best to think
the
about.
galaxy orbit plus the planet's orbits and everything that's happening.
And throwing black holes in there
Right.
and like stars and how they can detect where black holes are depending on the color of the star.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great stuff.
Well, so, yeah, like that, it's anybody that spent time in nature, which is also like just a beautiful way to calm your body, anxiety, depression, like all the good things in life. If you're in nature and you're, so myself, a couple years ago, we were at Lake Wenatchee with the kids. It was the day after a new moon, so there was no moon in the sky. It was pretty much completely black. And it was like 10 o'clock at night, sun's gone down. We're laying on the beach, looking up at the stars, and we're right underneath the Milky Way. Right? And it's just, and there's no moonlight, so it's so effing bright. And you're in nature, you have stars. It's like the feeling that you get from that. Yeah. Like, you can't explain it.
It's a magic.
But it is.
It makes you feel small and big at the same time.
It's like looking at this tree and being like, that tree's not real. It's like, no, it's right there. It's all right here.
Not only is it real. Oh, another theory is that birds aren't real. I love that theory. Is that birds are military drones.
That have been around since fucking dawn of time.
Like birds, the birds were real at some point, but they've been slowly dying out.
Fuck.
And that the government has mechanical birds, and that's how they keep an eye on us.
Well, like,
and there's a whole movement called Birds Aren't Real, like .org or something.
Well, it's
amazing.
I mean, like at this point, given the amount of, hillbilly bobs that like to go hunting and shit. Sorry, I shouldn't call them all hillbilly bobs. Hillbilly bobs and...
Hillbilly Roberts.
And hillbilly Jeanettes and Jeans as well.
They're the only ones that go hunting and eat birds.
But my point is like one of these would be like, hey, yo, this motherfucker's got a computer in it.
We would have heard about that by now.
This daggone thing isn't grilling like it used to.
It like sparks when it comes out of the sky. Like, hey, don't have the dog run over at the one that's sparking. That sparking duck isn't a duck.
Yeah, Sparky, don't go get the sparking duck.
Yeah, I also think people that kind of deny, like, I mean, this might be a wide generalization, but like people that deny stuff like space or moon, I'm like, I feel like those people also haven't left town in a long time. Like maybe don't have a connection to the earth. Okay. They are just maybe like, because there is that magical feeling of like being out, like just in nature. And so maybe they're just people that aren't connected on that front, so they look at it in a very evidence-based, very like a certain type of perspective that they aren't open to.
Yeah, I can see that. There's theories about people that live farther, like the closer you live towards natural bodies of water. There's, because we're 80% water as human beings. Right. There's some kind of physiological reaction that you have in a positive way, and the farther away from water that you live, you have a negative reaction. And which
is why I was so unhappy in Arizona.
Yeah, right. You know, people in the Midwest, there's a lot more, if you look at statistics and stuff like that, there's a lot more obesity, there's a lot more chronic anxiety, depression, there's things like that happen. And so, not saying that equates directly to living close to water, but again, theories that are out there. So,
well, and just like having like, the moon and how it controls the fucking tides and like how so many things are connected. Like if you don't really have that,
tides, man.
The fucking, and how it like lunar cycles sync up with your period cycles as a human being. And it's just like, there's so many things that aren't,
we can pump the brakes. I mean, the Catholics have been shitting out kids for a long time. They figured out that they can't use the moon anymore. Like, hey guys, like
we have to use infernal
they're doing
hell.
that on purpose though. They're trying to have kids.
No, but like, the whole rhythm method and shit, like, like fucking, oh, the stars are right there. Think now I'm not going to be able to knock up my wife
there are people that still go by that and that are able to. They're able to, because a lot of it you have to tune into your body. You can't just like have a Western style life, where you're pumping your body full of.
It's a colonizer type mentality, because indigenous communities have that connection to the earth that we as a society will never touch.
Yep.
Like, because it's just not in how we're wired as a society.
We have to peel away so much materialisticness and add in so much more intuition.
And there's no value in being a human unless you can produce something.
Right.
And I feel like that there's value in just being part of this community, this earth, this whatever universe we're in. There's there's more connection than just, I can do really good spreadsheets, or I make a lot of money, or I'm a good mom, or like these things that are not
none
you.
Of those things.
Right. And so like that's where your value is put in our society. It's just, if you're not producing something, then you're not working hard enough, or you have no value to the world.
And what's funny is at its very base level, the people that actually quote produce, like at the base level, day laborers, we treat like absolute shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, and think about, we were talking about small talk earlier. When you meet somebody, say for the first time, hey, what's up? My name's Adam. How are you? Cool. What do you do for a living? Why is that one of the first things we ask people? Why does that fucking add merit or add anything to?
Yeah, it's
and
the
I get it now.
question.
A lot of it, we're just conditioned to ask that question now, but still, it's like, I don't care what you do for a living. I mean, I hope it provides for your family, and I hope you're happy with what it does.
And so few people.
But how do you contribute to humanity? Let's ask that question. What did you do today to contribute to humanity?
What excites you? What's your passion? What made you happy today? What it's. There's so many people that aren't their jobs. They're like some of the most magical people I know are like servers or bartenders or secretaries or work in a corporate job, but that is not at all who they are. So if that's that's a question I don't even need to have in my repertoire for them, because that's just what they do so they can live.
Right.
Like that is not, they have no emotional connection to it. So it's such a silly question because it doesn't tell you anything about the human anyway.
Right, exactly.
So it's just small talk bullshit.
Yeah,
I hate
get that shit out of there. On to our next theory. This one's great. Zombies can rise from the dead.
I mean, obviously.
Duh. I mean, they wouldn't be fucking zombies if they couldn't rise from the dead. That's the whole point of being a fucking zombie.
This is kind of goes back to my whole
zombies.
Yeah, thank you. This goes back to my whole robot fucking ducks thing. You ass fucks over here just sitting here like, oh, zombie. It's like, wouldn't we have seen one of these assholes now?
Just one.
Well, look at, Florida, bath salts, right? Facing zombies, right?
They move so slow, though.
Yeah, well, fucking look Walking Dead.
Oh,
There's
that's
some
true.
speed zombies. No, what is that,
do.
World War Z?
But don't they, like, decay?
Zombies.
Haven't seen either of those documentaries. I'll need to check those out.
I've never understood, like, the logic behind zombies. You know, the deep logic. Like, they're rotting flesh, and yes, they're scary, but, like, it seems like an awful waste. Like, it doesn't seem like they'd be around for very long.
Yeah, and what they do eat, where is it going? Because their insides are on the outside, right? It's just,
so where's the hunger from? Because your stomach's gone.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
You don't have a jaw.
No, but you know what's interesting? Like, okay, so my brother was telling me back in the day that people, they used to tie bells to the inside.
Oh, I hate this story, and yes, I know.
Oh my god, that's crazy! Ooh. Yeah, they used to tie bells to the inside of or the outside of the grave and drop the string down to the coffin, so that if the person wasn't actually dead, they'd wake up and ring the bell, and then people would be there, and so that was why they had the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
Was to listen for the bells and then dig the people up.
Just in case you got buried alive.
Because they would have to dig people up on
Worst
occasion,
nightmare.
and they would find
nightmare.
like fingernail scratch marks on the insides of the coffins and shit because they weren't actually dead because they didn't have any way to actually prove it back then.
Oh. That would be the worst way to go, I think.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Just slowly suffocating in a pine box, knowing that you're too far down for anyone to get to you by the time they hear it anyway.
Yep.
Ugh.
God damn. Yeah, that's where the Whew,
no, gracias. Just like
hard
really make
about.
sure I'm dead before you put me somewhere.
Yep. Bill Gates is making fake snow.
I don't get this one.
I guess that was a TikTok thing that.
Oh fuck!
It
well,
burns
I'm already out.
Burns instead of melts.
I'm already out. Fucking TikTok.
Oh, what's wrong, Robin? You don't like
TikTok
the TikToks?
has really good conspiracy theory corners.
I bet they do.
TikTok is why
really
we don't
good.
have like soap dispensers in fucking bathrooms and shit like that.
Why don't we have soap dispensers?
It went fucking viral in some high school, and then every fucking kid started
like
taking
a Tide Pod thing.
Yeah,
they ruin all the good things.
Oh, that sucks.
The kids.
Exactly.
The kids, they ruin everything.
Can't throw rocks at cars anymore because like fucking kids.
That fake snow that burns instead of melts?
I don't even know why that would be a thing.
He's busy enough.
So what does Slick Will have to fucking do there? Like, why would he do that?
Yeah, what's up with Billy doing that?
Like,
so
I thought he was busy making the 5G vaccination shit.
He gets shit on so much. Like, I don't think he's like I don't
Everyone,
put all of my
really
faith in Bill
on him
Gates
now because it's like, oh, a wealthy
out of
man
all the
cheating on his
billionaires,
fucking
he's
wife.
the
He's doing
least
great.
bad one. At least he's doing something.
I always bring up Warren Buffett. Nobody talks shit about Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
OG.
Yeah, lives in his mom's fucking house and shit, or his OG house. But yeah, I don't think Bill Gates is trying to do stuff. Man, Bill Gates, the only motherfucker that's trying to increase
the only motherfucker.
the way we have.
Only motherfucker.
He's the only motherfucker that's tackling toilets. Right?
Yes.
He made an energy efficient. He's making an energy efficient toilet that runs off its own waste, right? And it powers the lights in the goddamn bathroom so that these rising billion nations can have fucking nice shitters, and they're actually better than the ones we have.
Here's the thing: if
Crazy.
you are a billionaire, you will never be a majority liked human, because it is just too much money for people to wrap their brains around. And I get there are people that can't eat in this country and you have billions of dollars that you can't spend in a lifetime. Like, I get that. But then you have like Elon Musk, which, let's just say maybe he's not the best person in the world, but like our biggest gripe for years was fossil fuels. So he literally created a car that did not run off fossil fuels. And then he put the first all civilian space crew into space. And yes, maybe he's doing things like corporation wise that are not good as a human, but like, you're just never going to win.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how many good things you do, like the amount of hate will always be there, just because it is too much money for a person to have.
Right.
And I understand that. But like, there are bad guys that I think are doing insane things with technology.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you just take anybody, any human being, like if the majority of the world knew me, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, fuck that guy.
There would definitely be some Kinsey hate pages.
Right.
For sure.
And it's like, so he's just in a position to where.
I host a couple.
Administrator. But
I think Adele and Dolly Parton are the only two like that every single person can.
Loves. Yeah.
But like, there's just you can't be liked by everybody. So just spend your millions of dollars however you're going to do it. Yeah. And thanks for giving us vaccines once in a while, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Spend that money.
And I don't
know.
Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs.
I mean,
that was
probably.
I've never heard that one. I've heard a lot of Amelia Earhart
3
theories.
3 foot long coconut crabs.
Well,
That's specific.
Those are big. Those things I've never actually seen one. I've seen photos of coconut crabs.
Crab.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look at that.
Big fuckers.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I think she just disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
So I don't even need to hear about that. It's like she could have been eaten by a fucking bunch of marlin or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Out of all the ones, that was the weakest one. Conspiracy theory wise.
Yep.
Popular mechanics.
I remember there was an Unsolved Mysteries about that, and there was a lady who kind of like looked like Amelia Earhart, and I was like, "You're Amelia Earhart," and shit. And, like, as a kid, I was like, "Yeah, it's totally her." Like, a press conference. She gives this press conference. She is so fucking pissed off, and so would I be if like you're being accused of being somebody that you're just not. It's like, no, I'm just fucking.
I'm Susan. God damn it! Just let me live my life.
Earhart. I'm not Amelia Earhart.
Well, they've released documentaries more recently about Amelia Earhart, where they found like the island where they feel like that
they found parts of metal of the.
Totally.
Like losing an airplane this day,
I believe, was the plane.
Is a little mysterious.
God, did I just pull that out? I think I did.
Yeah, lucky. Good on you.
But like losing an airplane in 1937, that's probably more like reasonable to me.
Yeah. See, and this is the thing is like, around this time we were still figuring out that like there wasn't an edge to the fucking Earth.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit,
like
it's like, okay, we didn't fucking know. It's like, well, so and so went on a steamship for 4.5 weeks, came back with a full fucking beard.
Her plane didn't have a top on it. Yeah, she probably didn't make it around the world. Right. Like there's also probably places that she was at that we would not have access to in 1937 . Like. Not a conspiracy.
It
didn't, right? Had like foot pedals.
Hanging out with
like a Fred Flintstone plane.
Went straight into the Denver airport.
I don't know where she went. Probably Bermuda Triangle. Probably just anywhere in the Atlantic.
Can we acknowledge the fucking Denver airport? The whole rationale behind that is it's $2 billion over budget. It's like if that was the rationale for a fucking government building to be over budget, like everything would be a spot for the fucking Illuminati.
That's also a conspiracy.
It could be, definitely, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
there's always something.
Oh, yeah, the government's not good at spending money. I get that. But, like, it's not a conspiracy. That's just
Maybe there's just a lot of guns underneath there.
Guns, yo.
Guns.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's all about the guns.
Guns, yo.
What about Loch Ness Monster?
Oh, for sure. Same as
been
like...
there. Fucking been there. Didn't see it.
I got married there.
All right.
I did know that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I did not receive that wedding invite.
No one was invited.
That must have gotten lost in the post. We call it the post in Scotland.
Lost in the mail.
Call it the post.
The post.
No, we purposely went to a place where no one would probably be able to go except for
What's that lake called?
It is. Oh my god.
Yeah, that should be
Loch Ness.
Loch Ness.
It's Loch Ness.
Loch.
And it's the Loch Ness monster who's Nellie.
Nellie
is her name.
I almost bought one of those cool little stuffed Loch Ness monsters at the gift shop, but I didn't. Did you?
I just think it's like a big dinosaur. That's just been hanging around.
Yeah,
That's totally believable.
But see, that lake's not that fucking big. It's like we could probably figure it out by now.
It's bigger, but it also connects to the ocean. That's the thing.
Oh,
She can get in and out.
Like, caves and stuff, you know?
That's not where she, that's just her summer home, Loch Ness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So right now she's doing lines in the Denver airport with Sasquatch.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. She's running Illuminati meetings.
I hope that's true. I hope that's true. Hey, you
I
just
hope
sparked
Nessie's
somebody.
Deep Throat. Maybe Nessie's Deep Throat.
Nessie's Deep Throat.
Actually, that guy actually just passed away, and they finally, it was a former director of the, maybe not the director of the CIA, but the actual Deep Throat guy.
Okay.
He actually
came out and said it was him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Deathbed confession.
Yeah,
cool.
And then Woodward and Bernstein were actually, yep, that was him.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably in the last 5 years. It's funny.
Okay.
Also, that Ted Cruz is.
That's why I'm here to bring the fucking reality back to you, cloud chasing, fucking kumbayas.
Earth energy ley line bullshit.
Yeah, ley lining motherfuckers.
Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer. What do you think about that one?
Oh.
I mean, he's not. They actually caught the guy.
I never heard that one.
That was when he was running for president, and it was my favorite thing because
Ted
it was
Cruz
just
is
so
Zodiac
ridiculous.
Was he even old
Or that
enough?
his dad. It was either him or his dad.
Faja?
I don't know. It's
My
funny to
Faja
think
and I
about
used
because
to-
he's such a creepy individual that it's like,
individual.
he might be.
You wouldn't smash?
What? I'd smash his balls between two little cement bricks.
Between his balls.
Smash his balls. God, just the way his
Oh,
daughters
my
recoil from him, that's like all I need to know.
Yeah,
Like, his daughters
there's
are
an
just
interesting
like,
family
"Oh,
dynamic
God."
there. The last few of these are kind of just all really kind of outlandish that I haven't really heard.
The solar flare caused the Titanic to sink.
Yeah, I never really heard that one.
No, I hadn't heard magic.
Especially since one previous to that was that the Titanic's not.
I mean,
wasn't actually the
probably
boat that
more of
sank.
an iceberg possibility.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't need to be.
That seems like they're like trying to stretch for that one. Sirens were responsible for shipwrecks. Sirens have, they talk about that in like the Odyssey.
Yeah.
But so I know, and this is a conspiracy theory, not maybe, but the world's been around for a long fucking time, right? And what we think is civilized civilization has been around for maybe 5,000 years. But if you look at some of the other, different religions and different texts and different people you talk to, they say it's 15,000 years, if not hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Right. And so the dinosaurs used to be here on this planet, right? There's no more dinosaurs.
Right.
Dinosaurs are fucking outlandish. If we didn't have physical,
Could you imagine if we still had them,
physical
though?
proof, right? Right. If we didn't have the bones to say the dinosaurs were real, a lot of people actually don't believe the dinosaurs are real. We were talking about that earlier.
There's a 6-story lizard walking around with 2 little arms. No
Right.
way, you're fucking out of
Never
here.
makes its way into the Bible.
Right. But so
Jesus horse.
I still give not merit, but a listening ear towards Atlantis theories or theories of sirens, theories of fucking dragons, right?
Pangea
Things like that used to be
happened.
around.
You're
right.
telling me that like there isn't maybe a city that got lost in the ocean somewhere?
Exactly.
Maybe.
Entire civilizations have gone missing.
Pangea, bruh.
That was a throwback,
Yeah, that's
Pangea,
good.
bro.
Well, there's I don't know if this is a theory, but it's a theory right now. But so as Pangea started, right, with all the continents together, and now we're where we're at, but the continents are still moving. So the idea is that in some point in time, we're going to all form again in the backside.
Reverse
Maybe
Pangea.
that's what really
that's
global
what really
warming
happens.
is.
Well, there's
Whoa.
also
That's
theories
interesting.
of synchronicity that every 25,690 some odd years, the world goes through these big shifts, and through that, the poles shift also. And so, like, there's a lot of different, but not to say we haven't been around long enough, but we don't have the same information that we maybe once had, or the way of looking at the information. So, it's hard to tell. But
There's just so much we don't know.
there is.
Being sure is so
Truth
silly.
is out there.
Yeah.
Truth is out there. X-Files, man.
yes.
That's the best. I'm rewatching that.
Gillian Anderson was in my dream last night. That was weird. I literally
Nice.
forgot about that until now. No,
Nice.
she like asked me to babysit her kids, and I was like, "That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here to be your friend, obviously."
Queen Elizabeth I was a man.
I mean, I believe something like that because maybe like transgender was around before it had a label for it,
Yep.
and yeah, I could see that.
And, they say in this that the
Or
original...
maybe she just had PCOS. Who knows,
Well, here they say the original queen passed as a child, and they replaced it with a young boy so that they could keep the royal line.
Oh, yeah, they do some shit like that
totally.
for sure.
That's some, like, Game
Does
of
it
Thrones type
matter?
shit.
No.
No. This is a good one, current, but the COVID vaccine has the 5G chip, that's always a fun one.
They're already tracking us with their phones. They don't need a chip in our bodies.
Do you remember that meme when Bill Gates got divorced and it showed the Google local women in my area, and it showed these women after their shots and it shows the 5G
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
You see they're all tracking them
Oh my God, no.
I don't know. There's just so many ways that they're already keeping tabs on us. I feel like it's just unnecessary.
Firm believer, if you're very concerned about privacy, not having a smartphone would be the first thing you could do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or just go in the woods. Get offline.
Well, yeah, no, you can have your fucking burner phone.
But even your laptop, your TV, there's so many times in the day where I'm just I was just talking about that, and there's a reason.
VHS. You gotta go VHS and
Hell yeah.
CRT TV.
There you go, man. Go back to ham radios
grid.
and shit, man.
Go off that grid, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's technology that... So we're training the technology by talking to it and by it listening to us, and the different dialects, the different cadence of speech, the different timbres of voice, all that stuff, right? So it's doing what it's supposed to do, and the better it gets, the more easier, quote unquote, it's supposed to integrate with our lives.
Right.
And I mean, if you read any owner's manual or warranty bullshit, blah blah blah, it actually states all that in there, but nobody fucking reads through that shit
because
it's all fine print crap, right? But like what you said, if you don't want to be a part of it, then
truly don't be a part of it.
Yeah, truly, yeah. You can separate from it. You can get flip phones that are like the QWERTY keyboards again,
or a Junebug. That's what they're called for the old
June
people.
bugs. Yeah, totally.
With the big old numbers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I want to dial with a pencil.
Yes, you can mail me.
Junebug old person phone.
Oh God,
you not know what they are? They have huge ass numbers, so they. And I think you can only call 3 people or something like that.
Yeah, my kid had one of those whenever my oldest kid, whenever she first got her cell phone. Yeah, those are great. They wear it around their neck. And
Jitterbug.
Jitterbug. That's what it is, not
Jitterbug.
Oh, that's good shit.
I would have been fucking stoked to have that level of tech when I first had smartphones. It's just a bullshit flip phone, but it's
it looks cool.
It's almost as good as a razor, and I would have killed a small child for a razor back in
I
loved it.
I had a black razor with a blue light on the front of it, around the Motorola. It was the coolest.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I kept it for way too long.
Yeah, they were good phones, but when they went to shit, they went to shit quick.
It's cracked in half.
So that was more or less the list. Is there anything that anybody didn't anything on there or that wasn't on the list that tickles your fancy as far as conspiracies go? I mean, we kind of tangented pretty good around that.
Yeah, it was good.
Feels good.
Feels good.
I mean, there's so many conspiracies out there, and even more so now. I mean, people have had so much time to just sit and think these past 2 years.
We didn't see the 9/11 was an inside job.
9/11 was an inside job. Yeah, that's
a big one. Don't not believe that.
Yep.
I think there was a little bit of we knew it was coming and we're just not going to do anything.
Did you ever see the movie Loose Change? The
yes.
About that?
That changed my fucking life.
So that was the whole big one about 9/11. It gets into a lot of the science.
The thermite.
Yeah.
What happened to the other building?
Yeah. So what's funny about that is
one
one guy brought up a really good point. There's a satirist who brought up a good point. He's like, the reason why that's bullshit is because that guy's still alive. If everything that guy says is true, that guy says is true, they're gonna kill that guy because they have no problem killing all these people.
They're gonna Karen Silkwood him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, we'll end on that. Have a great day.
Long live Karen Silkwood.
Good night.